instead of 40 to us.
Okay, so you're saying, hold on, let me just,
To be done. Perfect. Okay, so we're starting at 9:12.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, so we're going to do speed through this. Okay. A motion to accept the minutes.
So moved.
Millie? Second?
Second.
Lynn, okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. No discussion, no opposed. Okay. Bernadette, you're on.
Okay. Updates on the center. We are officially open. Still have a 50-person maximum in the building, and masks are required at all times other than when exercising or eating. I do have a little pushback from my bridge players. They definitely don't like wearing a mask for 4+ hours while they play, but hopefully soon that mask mandate might be lifted, but I'm still waiting to hear. Our transportation, our car was in an accident.
Oh,
Everyone is fine. However, the car's still being repaired. I think it's being held up because parts have to be delivered and everything's in slow motion these days, thanks to the pandemic. So we are still waiting to receive our car back. The other person was to blame for the accident, so the insurance company will be going after them for that. But yeah, we are booked solid. I've seem to be turning a lot of people away for rides or sending them over to the municipal grant program. I've been also working with Darcy over in Lebanon, sharing rides when she can't do it, or if we can't. We've been just, taking care of each other, basically.
I have a question on
When
the
our
car.
schedules are-
Why aren't they giving you a loaner?
I'm not sure if that was part of our insurance package. So I never even.
Mark, if I'm not mistaken, if they give you a loaner and you pay for it, then the insurance company goes after that money as well.
that's true, because that's a good idea, Kath. Since we're totally not at fault, they'll just bill her insurance company.
Correct.
Well, I will definitely look into that. I didn't even think of that.
And a lot of
honestly.
times body shops have loaners because they want you to be a happy customer, and they'll say here.
Or they'll have the insurance company do like from a Hertz or a rental car place.
Right. Yeah, because
But
we
Seeing
do
that
that
they
they're
for
should-
related with,
They should have provided you with that because,
Yeah.
especially because you're not at fault. That should
Okay.
be part of the deal. Sorry to
we'll look
interrupt.
into that.
No,
That's
good
okay.
idea, Kath.
Yeah, great idea. I'm slowly trying to add more programs to the center. However, I'm just afraid of going over capacity at this point. So as soon as I can raise that capacity number, I'll start adding more programs. So right now we'll have a holiday meal coming up for Thanksgiving. We're maxing it out at 40 people, and we'll have no other programs at that time during lunch, so we don't go over the capacity of 50. But sounds like our generator is about to be ordered. Mark? Yeah.
what? The generator?
I got it approved through Board of Selectmen using American Rescue Plan money. So
Great.
first we have to go out to bid. So we'll get a bid and then get it on order, but it'll probably take at least 6 months. Generators are back ordered due to
Yeah.
COVID.
That's great.
That's wonderful.
So that's about it. We're just kind of moving along. I'm hoping next year we're going to really put in some more educational programs. And that's something I really wanted to discuss with the Commission on Aging. I did a lot of research in regards to what other Commission on Aging groups do in other towns, in other states. And one of their main focus is on educational programs for the aging population. So, and that would be a great help to me, adding more programs here. For an example, aging in place, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, scams, respite programs, elder abuse, fall prevention. Right now, we just added a Tai Chi class that's really going to help seniors with their balance, which is all part of the fall prevention program that I'm starting. So, but I think it would be a really great idea for the Commission on Aging to get involved in more educational talks and programs here at the center. So,
Sounds good.
yeah.
Bernadette, would the role of CONA be to research what's most important and define programs or special teachers that we could hire or would volunteer their time, things like that?
Absolutely. I think we would work side by side in doing that. And then I think the Commission on Aging maybe would put on, say, maybe this spring, we could do a big talk on Alzheimer's and dementia and have different speakers come in throughout the month, say the month of April. We'll have 3 or 4 guest speakers come in and talk about dementia and Alzheimer's, and we could, you know, have a small finger foods, things like that, bring a lot of people in. Or we could do it on Parkinson's, which is another really hot topic right now. We have a few people in town I know have been very interested in learning more about that, and some support groups. Also, grieving support groups is another big one I get a lot of phone calls on. But it would just really be the assist and help putting these programs together. If you help with the research, and I can make sure I do the more manual labor here and setting everything up, and I'll do the advertising. But it'll be something that the Commission on Aging and myself could work together. And by the way, the bench came in, it's beautiful.
Good.
I want to get another plaque for the other side that says donated by the Commission on Aging. I'm working on doing that now because the other side of the bench is kind of bare, where one side actually has a welcome to Becker Senior Center sign. So
Have to come up and see it.
yeah, pop over. It's outside by the front door. It looks beautiful.
Was there
What are
anything
your
else?
thoughts?
Yeah. We'll get back to it. Was there anything else?
No, that's it.
Oh, okay. I didn't want to interrupt while you're on a roll. What are
I
your
was on a
thoughts?
roll.
What are your thoughts about that, gang?
I don't think it would be a bad idea for us to do a educational program. The only thing with Alzheimer's, anybody with Alzheimer's comes, they're not going to remember coming. Ha, ha, ha.
I think it's more for
That was
those
supposed
of us who might be approaching Alzheimer's.
There are a lot of programs that were being offered at East Hampton senior program, and they had a doctor that was on their board. I think it was East Hampton that was on their commission, who came and talked and was willing to talk about medications and mixing medications and the importance of
Oh, that's a
what
great
they
one.
shouldn't be taking. So that's another possibility. So we can talk about that. And you're thinking about that for the spring, Bernadette?
Yeah, definitely. Maybe each month doing, or maybe every other month doing a different talk on a sensitive topic. If it's not Alzheimer's, it could be Parkinson's. It could be getting the Troop K police officers to come in and speak on either elder abuse or even different various scams. I know I just had somebody come in, a couple of people actually, about this Amazon. So somebody's calling saying that they've purchased, thousands of dollars from Amazon, and we need to verify your checking account. And I had someone actually give their information to this person.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. So that's a big one that's happening right now. I actually received the same phone call. So I was privy to it as soon as it came to my attention. So I knew exactly what they were talking about. So scams are, I can't tell you how many seniors I've had that have been taken advantage of. Due to
Yeah, there
various
are a lot of
scams.
them out there.
Mhm.
Okay, I'll put that on the agenda for November then,
Excellent.
for some
Sounds great.
ideas. So maybe people can kind of brainstorm a little bit, and we'll add that on. Millie?
Something that came in the Congregational Church's newsletter, they're actually sponsoring a grief workshop. I think they're doing some sort of grief training actually for people who are interested in learning about how to help and support people in grief. And I think that's happening sometime in November. If Bernadette, if you wanted to call Mary Ann, the pastor, I'm sure she could give you more information about it.
Mary Ann? Okay.
Yeah.
The other thing is we have the ability to just call Wyndham Hospital and see.
Yeah,
They have programs too. And also groups. Well, they used to. I don't know if they're still doing it because of COVID, but they had lots of support groups for different caregivers and different diseases. So that's also another option.
So why don't we do some more brainstorming and talk about this in November then?
yes.
Okay, so that we'll see, everybody maybe can do a little checking around, see what they can find out.
Yeah.
Or maybe come up with some ideas, so we'll do that. Okay, the annual report, I sent people that are on the commission a copy of it, and I'll send this out. Is everybody okay with what I wrote before I send it out? Okay. Basically, what I said, Mark and Bernadette, is that we really did nothing because of the pandemic.
But
She said
very
it very well.
yes, she did.
I said that we tried to be supportive of your efforts at the senior center for transportation and food, that we tried to support getting a generator. That's kind of what our role was, but that we really, at this time, hadn't accomplished much as a commission. So that's what I'm sending in. That's our report. The senior housing, any luck with Chris Ram, Mark?
Yes, Stephen Everett and I had a meeting with Chris. And he laid out that he has all the plans and everything that he could go forward with that big property next to the firehouse. But he hates what the Eastern Highland Health District and the Department of Environmental Protection is forcing him to build, which to get the cost down and share septics, you have to have the buildings touching each other. They have to be duplexes. The most you can have is 2 buildings on one septic, but they have to be touching. He refuses to build that. He doesn't like the look of it. He wants individual houses that look historically correct, and he wants a village. So I'm going to try to help. I'm going to see if there's any way to modify the regulations either legislatively or through the system, because it does seem silly to have such a rule. I don't know why 2 houses couldn't share a septic and not be physically touching. I don't get why they had that rule. He also is trying to figure out what to do and how to tie it all together with the property opposite Zegda Farm. He owns those barns that he's restoring. And his Zegda Farm property is part of that property all the way to the firehouse. It's all one big property.
Right.
So he'd like to make it something bigger than, he hasn't pulled that whole vision together.
Oh, tell him he doesn't have to. It's 4 houses from my house, so he doesn't have to make it bigger.
Well, I think what he's thinking of is almost like having a, let's say he made a cider barn where you make cider, but it's something that the whole town would enjoy.
Okay.
I don't think he's looking at a housing complex down there.
Okay.
But he's trying to figure out how to make a farm village tied to a community village, and maybe even have retail in front of housing down by the firehouse off 66.
Well, that's what he had planned in the beginning, was to have retail in front of
Right.
it.
So those
So
are all
The
still,
holdup, the holdup is the septic then, at this
the
point.
holdup is making them cost effective and still have a beautiful village that looks historically nice, instead of a group of duplexes that he
So is
doesn't
he
like.
thinking that this is going to be like 10 years from now?
Well, if you've ever dealt with the bureaucracy of Connecticut,
Yeah.
like I
that's-
have, the answer is yes.
Yeah.
So, but I'm the chairman of the housing committee with CCM, our lobbyist group. So we're starting the process of opening up for DEEP to clearly define how we can make non-standard septic systems and fight the fact that because we don't have sewers, the legislation is blaming us that we're anti-affordable housing due to our planning and zoning regs, but it's really due to the health district and DEP regs that don't allow us to create denser housing. So I think there's a solution. We're trying to get DEEP to define in advance non-standard septics that are acceptable to them so that we can build them. Like if you look at Dartmouth Village, they have to replace all their septics because they're really built in a wetland area. So they have to build a non-standard septic system. That system for all those units is going to cost $500,000. So it's hard to make affordable housing when your septic system is $500,000.
Yeah.
So anyway.
What about, so this is kind of on the same topic. At one point, Mark, you said something about a walkway around the center of town. I see a lot of people walking up there. I've heard a lot of people walk that area just for a walk. They go on into the cemetery and across the street.
Yeah.
Is that still, do we have, I mean, is that under the funding that some of it that we're getting?
It's certainly something that we could look into using rescue funding for making walking, because we are about to take title to that property from David and Chris Ram, and they want to name it in memory of their mother.
Where
Hasn't
the property?
died,
Yeah,
has it?
So the
what property?
property goes from Tunxus, at the end of Tunxus, where it dead ends, Wickford Village to Tunxus.
Yeah,
Okay,
It ends there, and the whole wetland, all behind there, all the way up to the cemetery by Beckish, is going to be this property. So you could make a walkway all the way down Tunxus. You could come down Tunxus, Wickford, cut behind the houses right to Beckish, go to Beckish, hook up into the cemetery and loop all the way around. So that's something we're going to work on. We're just waiting till we own the property, and then we'll have Paula's been working on our land use planner,
okay.
and then we could always have some mapping done by Robert Hellstrom, so we can see what the true elevations are and all. So that's being looked at.
Okay.
Hey, I have to scoot out. I have a transportation issue I have to take care of.
Yep,
Mark, if maybe we can meet up. I just have a couple questions for you. Say 10:30.
That could work. Yep.
Okay.
All right.
thanks,
Bye,
Bernadette.
everyone.
Thank you. Okay, so we're still dead in the water on the housing. It's the bottom line at this point.
Well, no, we're not dead. I've asked Paula, I've challenged her. We're gonna try to get some answers in November. I asked her to look at properties. Instead of large properties that could hold, 15 to 20 units. Give me target properties that might be available that could build, 6 units. So if we reduce our scope, maybe we can come up with something.
Okay,
So that's the next thing we're gonna look at.
okay. All right, and as we're powering, thank you, Mark, for doing the meetings.
Yes.
Okay, going forward, tell me what your feelings are as far as meetings, people. Because I've just gotten today, as a matter of fact, I need to set up for meetings for next year and give them dates.
Is there enough? I don't know that there's enough for us to do every month, maybe every other. Especially if we're talking about doing this, these monthly or semi-monthly informational sessions.
Why don't we try to go, why don't we plan every other? Do we have a quorum? Yeah. Could we vote on every other month?
Millie, how do you feel about it?
Well, question for you, Kathy. Is it a pain to schedule a monthly meeting and then cancel it? Or
Yes,
say lack of quorum? So that's a pain to do that.
it's pain for me, yeah.
Okay. Well.
But it
then it's a
doesn't
pain.
mean that I won't do it. If you want to continue doing monthly meetings, we can do that, and I can just cancel if there's nothing to really discuss. So I'm at your pleasure, but as you know, I also said that I'm thinking if we're not going anywhere, I'm thinking about stepping down. So having said that,
Every other month, I think, is fine for me. I don't have a problem with that.
Mark, any thoughts?
Hold on there, I'm unmuted. Yeah, I'd say it depends on if, I know the focus for senior housing is such a tough one, that if that's your only focus, you definitely only need every other month. And for me to just tell you if we made any progress. But if you embrace some of the ideas Bernadette brought aboard of really beefing up our education components for the
But we-
seniors.
We could do that every other month as well.
Sure.
We could do a list of saying, okay, here are the ideas, here's some people.
Yeah,
And divvy it up, who's gonna call who. I mean, I don't think we need to meet every month to talk about that.
and if you, for whatever reason, had to have a meeting, you could have a special meeting.
Yeah.
And
Right.
all that means is you can't change your agenda. That's the only negative
Yep.
of a special meeting. So you hardly ever change your agenda anyway.
Right,
So that's fine. And then you could just skip the months with big holidays.
Yeah,
correct.
like
Right.
if we did November and then skip December.
Right.
Yeah, we'll be
Yeah.
back in January. Okay, I need a motion. Because this is a change.
I make a motion that CONA meetings go from monthly to every other month
Beginning with
Starting-
November.
after the November 2021 meeting.
So starting in January, right?
Okay. so
Yeah,
do
we'll
it-
have to start in January.
Yeah, okay, starting in January.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I
Aye,
think
okay.
I'm frozen.
I gotta take off, everybody.
Okay, wait a minute, Lynn, before you run, going forward, anybody have anything else in new business, or can we adjourn so that we can give her time? Anything else?
Nope.
Okay, motion to adjourn at 9:39.
So moved.
Okay,
Okay, so
Right.
that's Margie.
Hi, Lynn.
Margie was yes. And second was Millie?
Sure.
I'll say,
I'm
okay,
present.
okay, but we can hear you.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
10:39 adjourned. Okay,
9:39.
9:39. Duh, thank you. Okay, thank you, everybody.
Hi, all.
Thanks,
Happy
bye.
Thanksgiving.
Happy
Yeah.
Turkey Day. That's
Happy
right.
Tur- And
Be
happy
safe.
No, we'll
Halloween.
see you. We'll see. We have a meeting
Oh, yeah,
in
that's right.
November. Safe
Happy-
travels, Marge. It's gonna be a
Thank
rough
you.
one. That
Bye,
wind.
Margie.
Yeah, I know. I'm still trying to finish packing.